I'm in the studio today. I'm going to be doing a behind the track of Come Over Sober, which was the second single to drop on A Call to a Friend, which is my full-length EP. I'm going to try my best to go from start to finish on what it took in terms of like my writing process for the instrumental, and yeah, let's go. Okay, so here we are at the session, the original session that I wrote. The first thing I started off with was actually this guitar riff here. So that's actually obviously the original guitar on the record. It's funny because I actually played this. I played the guitar riff, I was recording it, I put it on Instagram while I was kind of like figuring out with the metronome and figuring out the speed of the track itself. And a lot of you guys responded to it. So I kind of felt that energy right away. And I knew I wanted like a really pronounced pop sounding acoustic guitar, which is what I believe I achieved. I went ahead and added that guitar. Just added like a little bit of sparkle on it with the CLA by Waves, which is, by the way, my favorite plugin. It makes every guitar sound fucking amazing. So then I know that my session's a little bit unorganized here. It's kind of like a controlled chaos to me, like it makes sense. The next thing I did add was the hi-hat top lines. Not technically something I always tend to do, it just kind of depends on the vibe of the tracks. This is a sample that I actually just chopped up from Splice. This is a sample that I found from Splice here. So yeah, you can hear the complete difference in sound. Yeah, that wasn't gonna work. So what I did was I chopped it up. Kind of happened to just roll with the vibe quite well. Next thing that I did go on to, adding those main snare hits. So I have like a rim here and I have a clap. I wanted variation without making it too busy, so I just decided to add the clap on the alternate. The next thing on top of this that I did add would be the kick. The next thing that I did add were these little 808s. So this was probably like the most exciting part of the song for me. Don't know why. I hear this part and I still get hype, and I love the way that my engineer Jack, panned these around. It's amazing to me. Here they're not panned, they're just like really flat. I'm just getting the basis of the idea here. I can't even really describe what that sound is when you're kind of like playfully, you have those like light 808 toms like panning around. But I've heard it in quite a bit of like hip hop and just random stuff. I felt inspired by that, and I also wanted the track to be a little bit busier, but just like all contained within those pockets. But yeah, those 808s were like the next thing I came up with on the keyboard, and I just basically tuned up a really like deep 808, just took the octave all the way up as far as it would go. The next thing that I do have lined up in this session, how did I come up with this bass line? I can't even make up a story. I have no idea. But what I knew I needed was something even more powerful after those elements came in, so I did start structuring the chorus as well instrumentally. I just love when the chorus comes in and the sound is so big and it feels like the entirety of the vocals and the production, everything's just surrounding you in that moment. And that was really important to me here for Come Over Sober, but I didn't want to drown it out with too many elements. So it's extremely vocal heavy, and I wanted that to be the focus, and I wanted that to carry the record in terms of the hook. Underneath lies, piano parts. There's a little bit more going on in the chorus than there is on the verses. So I just added this simple piano part right here. Nothing intricate, nothing special. One thing that's become a focus of mine too is elements, added in a tasteful way. I just wanted to add body, that's it. Something that you could feel, not necessarily something that you could hear that's extra. To give the chorus a little bit more sustain in general and a little bit more movement, I did add a sub bass as well. So we have these going in the back here. It worked out, I like it. Going into the second verse, I don't want to like go crazy and like switch it up. I'm going to want some familiar aspects. So it's pretty much the same It's gonna have some variance in terms of like cutting parts out so you can hear other parts and making things sound new without having to add to make it sound new. So here are these little spaces for the second verse. But one thing I did do when I did come back to the track is I decided to add some guitar leads. Just little accents to, you know, add some like flavor up in there. Since the hook only does repeat with the full instrumental twice, I did want to add like a final, like, I don't know, final bang, I guess, with the chorus. And I decided like, hey, let me play you know, distorted guitar underneath my vocal, add like that cool little accent there. So that's what I went ahead and I did. Yeah, so I went ahead and added that. Not only because I'm extra, but I just love the way that distorted leads sound underneath vocals. I just think it sounds amazing. It's tight. It's going to be ingrained in my production forever. And then I also decided to vary the drums and the 808. But I was also thinking about how would my live band sound if they were to do that transition? Probably pretty saucy like that. So let's just put that in the production. Here at the end of the song, I wasn't like hella particular in how I wanted the song to play out, but I really like the vocal samples that I had end up chopping up in Arcade and pitching. So I was just like, maybe I just had those on there. I was like, this is tight. I have no idea. I didn't know why I wanted to have that little part where the beat plays like that, but I did know for a fact I wanted to end with the original guitar hook. I feel like, okay, you know, scratch like all the vocals being, you know, super crazy on the chorus, and then, you know, whatever your favorite part of the song is, you know, rightfully so, good part. But that guitar part, I literally feel is the entire life of this track. So I really wanted to just end it with the thing that I started off with. That was my behind the track of Come Over Sober. You got to see how, you know, disorganized my session was. You know, you got to see it before my engineer Jack like touched it and made it sound beautiful. But yeah, until next time I can do this again and see my other messy sessions. This was Come Over Sober from my EP, A Call to a Friend. Thank you guys so much for streaming and sharing. This was behind the track. I might do another one. We'll see what's up with that.